Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I'm David Lawrence. I'm Associate Provost and Dean of the College of Arts and Sciences. Along with me is my co-host, Dr. Donna Mitchell.
Hi, I'm Dean of the College of Health and Behavioral Sciences.
And we have with us a student who's going to be joining us this afternoon. This is Carol Armstrong. Carol, you're a graduating senior in communication, if I understand correctly.
Yes, sir.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
As you said, my name is Carol Armstrong. I graduate in May with a bachelor's degree in communications and an associate's degree in political science. I am a Gallagher County native. Basically grew up here on the campus of Rio Grande. My grandmother was is the former dean of students, Elaine Armstrong. So I'm definitely familiar with the environment here. This is home. So I have a lot of love for the school, and I'm excited to see the new programs that you guys are planning on bringing to this campus.
Terrific. And I'm going to begin this afternoon by sharing with you some general information about AQIP and accreditation. All institutions of higher education are required to be accredited, either regionally, nationally, or at the program level. And so Rio Grande Regional holds our regional accreditation through the Higher Learning Commission, which is located in Chicago. It's the largest of the regional accrediting associations, has 19 states and over 1,000 schools within its accrediting body. And there are multiple accrediting pathways that we can choose. Accreditation has to deal with why would we want to have some kind of an accreditation? It's very costly, but accreditation is a stamp of approval, both at the national level and in some cases the international level. There are multiple reasons why accreditation exists. It's a process by which institutions and programs can basically provide evidence that they're meeting standards. And this is important not only for quality improvement, but also for the carrot. That's the carrot side. The stick side would be to actually get permission to use Title IV funding from the federal government. Most of our students do have some kind of federally secured loans or grants, and if the institution was not accredited regionally through the Higher Learning Commission, then we would not be able to accept those students, nor would we be able to offer Title IV funding. We have, as I mentioned, part of our regional accreditor is the Higher Learning Association, and they allow us to choose our pathway. There are 3 different pathways that the HLC gives institutions the option of participating in. Ours is called AQIP. It's an acronym, AQIP, standing for Academic Quality Improvement Program. And so, as the name would suggest, it's a way of getting people involved in continuous quality improvement. And that's one of the things that we are definitely trying to do. I know that also we have programs that are accredited, and Dr. Mitchell has a number of her programs in her college that are accredited.
Right.
I have one in mine. The School of Education is accredited through CAPE. Now it used to be NCATE, and now it's changed over to CAPE. Dr. Mitchell, you have some programs in your college.
I do. All of my allied health programs are accredited. The nursing program is accredited. The social work program is accredited. And in allied health, the programs that are radiologic technology, sonography, respiratory therapy, and then, of course, social work and nursing.
And nursing, yeah. And each of those accrediting bodies has different standards specifically related to that discipline. However, all of them have basic quality standards that each program must demonstrate that they meet to continue having accredited status. And so it's a requirement, but it's also a method by which we can continually improve how we do things. You have other programs that you want to discuss briefly?
I do, but I'd like to add a little bit to the accreditation piece first.
Sure.
It is quality improvement, and although it's a lot of work, We have a lot of requirements that we have to meet. I do believe it's in the best interest of the institution and our students and our graduates to remain accredited, because we are always being assessed, and we are assessing ourselves to make sure that we are maintaining best practices and that we are current in our fields. So accreditation is extremely important when it's a national accreditation. We strive very hard to maintain those accreditations and to continually improve our programs. So I really value accreditation. One of my programs that's a brand new program is actually a certificate program, and it is the DSW program. And when I say DSW, typically people think I'm talking about shoes. I'm not talking about shoes. Have you heard of that DSW with shoes?
I have.
Yep.
DSW is the Direct Service Worker program. This is a certificate program. It's an 80-hour program, and it's relatively new. And we are working with folks who would like to have a certificate to be able to provide care in the home. This is for patients who are homebound, who need some additional help in the home. They will learn certain skills, such as transferring the patient from the bed to the chair, providing help with maybe personal care activities, providing assistance with preparing meals. The student will have classroom and clinical experience. We give the students a lot of hands-on experience, and we are going to be offering that certificate program at the Meigs branch and at the MacArthur branch in the fall. We've offered it on the Rio campus, and our students did very, very well. Sometimes our students who are waiting to get into one of the allied health programs or the nursing program will choose to take this course, because it does give them some basic skills that will be helpful as they move on into any kind of healthcare environment.
So it's something that they can actually add on to a degree that they're already working towards.
They may choose to do that, or it's a standalone certificate as well. So if they would like to get a job with a home care agency and provide personal care to patients, this would be an opportunity to be able to be qualified to do some of those things.
How long does it take for a student to go through that program?
It's only an 80-hour certificate program, so it's a rather short certificate program. But it's one that will make the student marketable in a very short period of time.
And I'm sure it's a need in this part of the country, and probably throughout the country, as baby boomers tend to be aging, and it would be very helpful to have some help around.
It is. In fact, care used to be provided in long-term care facilities and hospitals. It's getting more and more expensive to provide care in long-term care facilities, and many patients are more comfortable at home. The family would rather have the patient at home, but sometimes it's just difficult to care for that person alone. So if we can get a direct service worker in there to provide assistance and help the family, sometimes it really will help in a lot of ways. It will help financially, it will help the family meet some of those needs and take some of the stress off the caregiver. So direct service worker, I believe, is where the field is going. We're moving more outside of institutional care and moving more into home-based care, because healthcare is expensive, and so it's a great cost-saving measure as well.
Are there any schools in the area that offer a program similar to this?
Actually, we're one of the few schools who are offering this program. It's brand new, and we got in on a pilot project with the state of Ohio, and there were only a few schools. Ours was the only one in our region who was chosen to be part of the grant, and it was grant funded initially. The grant has now expired, and we're working on this program, just offering it now on our own. But it's a brand new concept. We've had home care providers for a long time, but we really haven't had a certificate program to help those students be more prepared to provide the care that they provide. And we're finding that it's becoming more challenging to provide care in the home. So we want to make sure that the folks who are out there helping these patients are well prepared, not only to provide quality care, but also to not injure themselves, because we're finding that one of the primary injuries to people in the healthcare profession are injuries to the backs and shoulders. So if we can help those folks learn how to lift correctly, use proper body mechanics, then they will also have less of a chance of injuring themselves as they work with their clients in the home.
So other than the fact that Rio is the only school regionally that offers this program, what are some other incentives that you guys offer or can offer to a student to come here to Rio?
In addition to the DSW program?
Yes, ma'am.
We have a variety of programs, and I'll speak to some of the programs in my
Okay.
college, and then I'll let Dr. Lawrence speak to some of the programs in his college. One thing I'm extremely excited about with our allied health programs is the quality of education and some of the things we can provide our students. And we are in the process now of looking at expanding our simulation lab and actually having a very state-of-the-art simulation laboratory. We're hoping that we'll have that online within maybe the next year. We're looking at all new simulators in a new environment. We are looking at best practices in that area so that we can bring students in, and even though they may not see a certain condition in the hospital, we can simulate that condition so they can see types of patients that they would not necessarily see and learn how to care for those patients and do integrated studies so that we're actually working with respiratory therapy, with sonography, with x-ray, with pharmacy technology, which is another one of our allied health programs, so they can all be part of the care team as we simulate patient care situations. I think that's very exciting because we're really incorporating allied health and nursing and even social work down the road, perhaps getting involved as well in looking at what actually really happens in a patient scenario in a hospital. So to me that's exciting as we're looking at ways that we can begin to develop these scenarios. In addition, we have a really good psychology program. Our psychology program is growing. We have a couple of psychology professors who are doing a lot of research, have a great research trajectory. And so students are able to learn about research, be part of research, do some research studies here on campus. We do have a new lab that they can use. Our social work program is a highly successful program. They have a lot of field hours, so they are able to get out in the field and determine, number one, early on, is this for me? Is this what I enjoy doing? And then if they find it is, they get opportunities to deal with a variety of situations and settings. So I think we provide a lot of hands-on, value-added education at Rio Grande. Also, our classes are relatively small compared to some of the larger schools, so we can give individualized attention and assist our students when they need our help. We can be available. We do have some courses online, but we have faculty available even if the course is online, so they can come in and meet with their faculty if they're struggling with a concept.
Excellent.
We also offer all the support services that students might need, such as tutoring for both the general subjects, reading and writing and math and those subjects, but also some discipline-specific subjects. We will also offer any extra tutoring that a student needs and any extra support that a student needs. And Rio is a small enough campus to where we can allow the students to have if something medical happens, we have for minor medical conditions that might happen, we have those facilities available. And since we're both a commuter college as well as a residence college, we have dorms on campus, we have eating facilities on campus, obviously a bookstore, things like that. In my college, we offer, I'm on the arts and sciences side, so we have programs in most of the sciences, including the physical sciences and chemistry. We also offer computer science and mathematics. We'll have programs, one of our largest programs in my college is the School of Education. And of course it covers from pre-K all the way through high school and the various subject matters, including all the liberal studies, which includes history and language arts, communication, your background, and other areas like that. My college also includes the fine arts, which is my background with the music, and then the art department is one of our strongest departments on campus and does a lot of terrific work. And you'll see some of the artwork around campus that is provided by some of the area artists as well as artists from around the country. So we offer a wide variety at Rio Grande of various programs that students might be interested in. One of the advantages to Rio Grande, as Dr. Mitchell suggested, is we're fairly small. So you get to know your students as a faculty member, and you're just not one of a multitude of people when you walk into a class. Our average class size is probably 16 to 18 students, and many of those classes are smaller than that. So you really get to know the professor. We do offer some graduate degrees, but most of our classes, in fact all of our classes, are taught by our full-time faculty. They have terminal degrees for the most part, which means you're not going to be being taught by a TA like you might be at a bigger school. Walk into a class of 300 students and have a graduate assistant teaching the class. These are going to be PhD prepared faculty who are teaching our classes, and you'll get to know them and they'll get to know you, and that will make a difference, as I'm sure you've seen working with some of your communication professors and others that here at Rio. So we've got a variety of opportunities for students to participate in things like that.
There are a couple other programs that I'd like to mention briefly, and one is my business school, School of Business. We have a strategic management class, and they have been ranking nationally in their business. It's a simulation game, and almost every week I get an email where they're in the national 19th in the nation, 17th in the nation. That's pretty amazing for a school the size of Rio Grande. Our technology programs are also outstanding. We have a welding program that is meeting the needs of employers in the area. Our manufacturing technology is also a wonderful program. We are going out as far as Columbus and now beyond because employers are wanting our students. They're seeing the quality of the student that's put out by Rio Grande, and they have asked us to come and visit. So we have been going Cincinnati, Columbus, northern part of Columbus. So very large corporations have asked us to come and talk to them about what we can do to provide students and graduates to meet the needs of those companies, to have our students develop some sorts of partnerships, co-ops, internships. So they're getting very good hands-on experience while they're still in school, and some of those internships are paid internships. So that's another excellent opportunity. We also had a group from the School of Business who just brought back some national awards. So our business school is really very, very good program for a school the size of Rio Grande, or for a school any size when you're considering that we're winning national and international recognition. So we've got some excellent programs, some excellent faculty, and some great staff to support our students.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So with the new program that you're introducing, the direct service worker, about how many students are you anticipating will take interest in this? What do you think that it will do for admission for the University of Rio Grande?
When we ran our pilot program, we were hoping for 40 students, and we had approximately 38 students who came through that program. And that program, of course, ran the full 80 hours, and we had other students who were interested, but at that point in time they couldn't commit to the program. So we're hoping on maybe 20 students per class in MacArthur and 20 students per class in MEGS. We don't want to be too large because we want to make sure that those students get one-on-one attention with their instructor, so that if they are not doing a procedure exactly correct, that we've got time to pick that up and to work with the student to get that corrected. So you don't want to have too many students, because safety is always important in a lab situation, and making sure that your students are understanding the concepts as you're teaching those. The beauty of that program is it is an 80-hour program, so if we find that one section fills, we can add another section to run after that first section closes. So I think their possibilities are endless when people understand that in a short period of time they can learn a skill that will make them marketable and will be needed.
Right. So is this a program that you see in the future as offering here on campus, at the Rio campus, or right now you're just kind of looking at Meg's MacArthur branch?
We actually started it here on the main campus.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
And it was taught by nursing faculty on our main campus. We're now wanting to expand into Benton County and Meg's, just so that we have an opportunity to provide those courses for those students who may not have wanted to drive as far as Rio Grande for the course the first time it was offered. We have a lab that's adequate, more than adequate, to meet the needs of the students. So it is something we could offer in the summer here on Rio campus, or we could offer basically anytime we see the need for students. So if we have a large need, we could certainly always look at offering that program here on campus, because we have everything we need to do that, to get it started, as well as at the 2 branch campuses.
I might also mention a new exciting program that we're going to be starting for a cohort of students who already have a degree, but they may be interested in moving into teaching and changing a career direction. We're going to be starting this summer, and it's for those people who already have a degree. They're going to have given the option of getting into a licensure program that will allow them into intervention specialist, which is for in the public schools for those students who are maybe in need of some extra help. And so we're going to be putting together a 2-year program. Actually, we've got it put together. We're fine-tuning it now, and we're about to roll it out for any student, any community member or potential student who would like to get into teaching, and perhaps this would be a good approach for them. It's going to be offered primarily in the evenings over the summer and during the long terms during the evenings. So it's going to be available for students who or family members who might have jobs elsewhere, but have some flexibility to maybe make a career change. So that'll be rolling out hopefully this summer, and we're excited about the potential there. We'll take as many as come, but we're probably looking to have between 12 and 15 for this first cohort. And we're excited about that as well. So there are a lot of exciting things happening across the campus with the different programs that we're offering.
Wow, this is awesome. It's great to see that you guys are trying to revamp the programs that we have here, and not just revamp them, but add new programs as well. Are there any other allied health programs that are offered not just at the Rio branch, but the Meigs MacArthur branch as well, or are the programs pretty limited as far as what you offer at the other branches?
At this time, all of the allied health and nursing programs are only offered on main campus. However, we do have students who will get their prerequisites at Meigs or MacArthur and be advised, and then when they actually start into the program, they come to main campus. They can get many of their general education classes, though, at the off-site campuses. So it would just be the primary major classes that they would need to come to campus for. It takes a lot of equipment and supplies for those programs, so
Right.
we try to centralize that to make best use of our resources. But we do have some excellent allied health programs and some really good students who are coming into the programs. It's always fun to go out to the healthcare facilities and see the number of Rio graduates. It's just
Definitely.
amazing. In fact, when I talked to somebody at Adina, I think almost every sonographer they had was a graduate of Rio Grande. When I go into any of the area hospitals, I see our graduates. I see people that I taught in the classroom, and now they're providing care, and maybe be my healthcare provider. So it's really exciting to see those students as they grow. Many of them have gone on for master's degrees. Some of them have doctorates. Some are teaching college.
Definitely. To kind of go off of what you said, back in the fall I helped with the fellowship dinner for the admissions office, and the CEO for Adina was there, and we just started talking. Said that a large majority of the new hires that he gets in his allied health program comes from University of Rio Grande, and I think that speaks volumes for the school because we are so small. I think it definitely goes to show that just because we're small, that doesn't mean that we're limited in what we offer and the potential that our students have from coming from the school.
That's true, and we get very good evaluations on our students, and then we follow up on our graduates, and we get good evaluations from our graduates as well. Many of our technical programs, many of our associate degree programs have advisory committees, so we stay up with what's needed in industry, whether that be healthcare industry, whether that be in manufacturing, whether that be in welding. We are getting advice as to what we're offering, what is coming down the pike, what are they going to need, what do we maybe need to change a little bit. And so I think the fact that we're always learning more about what our future employers need now and what they might need within the next 2 to 3 to 5 years keeps our students and our graduates very marketable, because they know we're always out there trying to make sure that we're meeting the need of the employer. If we find there's a need that we're not meeting, we will change our programs. We will do something to make sure that we're adding that content in quickly so that our graduates will have what they need when they go out into the work environment.
And that's one of the advantages of being a little bit smaller school. We're a little bit more flexible, and we can be nimble when it comes to that. We also try as much as we can to meet the needs of our area communities. Obviously, we're both the university and the community college, and one of the missions of the community college is to meet the industrial need, the economic need of the surrounding community. And being a small institution, that gives us a little bit of flexibility to allow us to do that. In fact, some of our allied health programs stem from partnerships with area hospitals and health providers wanting to have this program because they had a need, and that's why we developed it. So it's a good place to be.
Yeah, we have a partnership with our local hospital, and as Dr. Lawrence said, they would say to us, well, we can't get enough people who can do ultrasounds. We need people who can do ultrasounds. We developed a program. We are having a difficulty finding enough people to do radiology technology. So we developed a program. They have been our partners, so they've supplied us sometimes with some equipment that we needed. And so it has been a great partnership, and also a great way to meet the needs of the community. And when you're meeting the needs of the community, you're also producing students who are employable. So I think everybody wins in that situation as we try to be receptive to the needs of the community.
Right.
Definitely a win-win situation.
We've got a few more minutes left, I understand. I'm being told about 5 minutes left. I went through 4 minutes. Well, there we go. I went through very quickly some of the kind of an overview of the accreditation process. We only have 7 accredited programs on the campus, but they're very strong programs. One of the things that we do as a campus, the Rio Grande institution, as part of our AQIP process, is we have to have 3 continuous action projects always going on. Those action projects are specifically designed by us, following AQIP guidelines, to force Rio Grande to take a look at what we're doing and then identify some area that we recognize needs improvement, and then following the AQIP process, put some steps in place to actually address that. They go into these action projects with not necessarily knowing what the answer might be, how best to solve the problem, but it does give us flexibility to try some things. And that's one of the things that AQIP is all about, in trying to find new ways of improving what you're trying to do. One of the main things that we're working on right now is our systems portfolio, which is a great big thick book of how we do things and what kind of results do we get from the things that we've been doing, and then also what are the improvements that we're going to be making. It's one of the things that I'm up to my eyeballs in, quite honestly, right now, because it's due every 4 years, and this happens to be the 4th year. One of the things about accreditation processes is they have timelines, and that keeps you very busy in doing all that, but it also keeps you focused on what things are important. And that's one of the things that we've tried to do at Rio Grande, and we continually try to do, is get back to why do we exist? Why are we here? How can we better improve what it is we're trying to do? And both the accreditation processes help with that, as well as the processes where we go through and try to determine what are the places that we need to work on? Where are those instances where things are not going as well as they should, and how can we solve them? Accreditation helps with that as well.
The School of Business is just working on their self-study too, because they're an accredited program, so they're going through that process as well right now.
And a self-study requires you to take a good hard look, an honest look at what are we doing well and what are we doing not well, and how can we go about addressing those issues. So accreditation is important. It sets a minimum standard, but it also gives you some achievable goals, and that's going to be helpful in all programs. I used to not really like accreditation. I've grown to the point where I appreciate it and understand it much more thoroughly, and sometimes I still don't like it, but for the most part, I do believe that it's an important process, and it helps us to actually improve ourselves.
We like it much better when the report's over, right?
Yes, we do, and that it's been successful.
Exactly.
We've got a lot of important things going on this campus, and exciting things, and I understand that this is a program that will be continuing every month or so, or every week or so, with 4 times a month, something along those lines. perhaps the next show we'll be able to clarify that for you. And we'll have different hosts. And
The next one's the president.
the next one will be hosted by our president, new president, Dr. Michelle Johnston. And she will have some, I'm sure, exciting things to share with you. And so we look forward to that and future programs. I'm David Lawrence.
I'm Donna Mitchell.
And I'm Carol Armstrong.
Thank you for joining us this afternoon.